You are live. Welcome to my channel, Bit Glenn. My name's Glenn. I like to share with you what I learn in the world of cryptocurrency as I go through it. So this video is slightly different. I have started to come and view properties with my colleague Andy, and we've viewed one already today, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be a good idea to live stream viewing one of the houses so you guys can get an idea of what type of properties that it is that Ether Homes will be buying, with obviously funds raised through the community, people owning shares. Now remember, if you own the tokens, you own that number of shares in the company, and therefore that number of or that percentage of shares in any assets associated with the company. Obviously, the more assets it owns, you own a percentage of the overall assets, not just one property. A few people have gotten a bit confused about it, saying, oh, do I own a percentage? How much percentage do I own of each house and stuff like that? You own a percentage of the company and everything it owns under that umbrella. So this is a property. Give us a wave, Andy. This is a property that we're viewing on a nice straight road. It's, you can see all the houses are pretty much the same down here. Now this one that we're viewing is up for 80,000, but if it was done up, renovated, they reckon it should be worth between 110 and 120. I reckon houses like this, based on previous experience, you're looking probably around 15 to 20 grand renovation costs. So therefore this property, even if it was done up and it was valued at the maximum value, as it stands now, the deal doesn't stack up. The numbers don't add up. You'd be a bit short. So obviously that's where you'd have to, obviously at the start, speak to the estate agents and obviously the vendor and negotiate obviously a deal that would stack up. Now you can negotiate this on 20 different deals and they could all say no. They could say nope, you're putting a too low offer, we want more than that. But eventually there will be one person who will want to sell. So say that house is up for 80, you put in an offer for I don't know, 65. You spend 20 grand doing it up. Now you've spent all in total £85,000. If it is valued at 110, 120, you can get 75% value back out in a standard buy-to-let limited company mortgage, which obviously would give you about 80,000 back. So therefore you've got 100% of your return on investment. Now sometimes, as I've pointed out in the Telegram group chat, which you could be a part of, it's Team Bit Glenn, or you can join Ether Homes group chat on Telegram, or you can obviously message me through Ether Homes Twitter, Facebook, through the website etherhomes.com. And you may get one that obviously eventually says, yeah, okay, that's fine. You get the mortgage, you get all 100% of your money back. You may find, if you're really lucky, that actually the house gets valued at 125 or 130. And then you can get back maybe 10 grand of your own money. Could go the other way, could go that the house only gets valued at 110 or 100. But that means you have to leave 5 or 10 grand in the deal, which is not ideal, especially for the type of, I'm trying to raise a very small set of funds. So obviously I need to keep recycling the money to buy the next asset. And that's the key behind the project. A lot of people don't realise this. That is the key, is just recycling the funds. So hopefully you guys get an idea, but let's have a little look at this property and you guys can get a feel for the type of properties that Ether Homes would be viewing and looking at. Now what's interesting to me, this house is up with an estate agent. Estate agents' jobs are to obviously get the most amount of money they can for property for the vendor. That's their job. They get paid a percentage of the commission, so they want to sell it for the biggest figure they can. Whereas there is a similar property along this road that is going up on for auction on September the 10th. So that means that that property, they don't care how much it goes for. The auction get a set fee for just selling the property. They don't care if it goes for 30,000, 50,000, just whatever the room So whatever price that everyone in that room on that day is willing to pay for the property, that's what it gets sold for. So I'd be keeping an eye on that, because if the one at the auction goes for 50, 60,000, depending on the renovation costs, then there's a lot bigger chance for profit in that. Obviously, buying from auctions are a risk because they're sold at scene. So if there's an underlying hidden issue there with houses like this through an estate agents, really they should inform you, stuff like that. That's their job. Whereas an estate agent, plus also when you're buying a house through an estate agent, you have to go through solicitors, you have to get a surveyor's report done. So you're having an experted second opinion on, yeah, I think that house is okay, or it needs this, it needs that, or there's an issue with this. Whereas buying from auction, you don't have that. It's just sold as seen. So it can be slightly riskier. That is where projects can come undone, and that is where I could get stuck one day. You know, I could buy a house, renovate it, and someone says, oh, there's an underlying issue with subsidence. We just viewed one a minute ago. House was up for 80,000, and there was an issue, or it looked like there was an issue for subsidence, and it needed a lot of work doing to it. And I said to my friend Andy, I said, I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole, not on the budget that you've got. Now, once you're a big enough investor, if you've got £200,000 in the bank and you've bought a house for, I don't know, 70,000, you estimate it needs 15,000 renovation, so then your total spend is 85. It's going to be worth 110 at the end. If someone came to you and said, oh, it's got subsidence, you're going to need to spend another 10 grand on it, you'd go, oh, okay, get it sorted, you know, so we can get it across the line. But when you're just starting off and you've only got 30, 40, 50,000 pounds, that's 25% of all your money gone in something you didn't budget for. So, you know, try and avoid that sort of stuff, especially at the early stages. But obviously these are the type of homes that we'll be looking at. This is going to be the bread and butter of the company. So I thought I'd show you guys exactly what it is we're getting for our money. So I'm going to go into the property now. Once it's safe to do so. Oh, I need to put a mask on actually. Oh, so this don't look too bad actually. It don't look too bad in here, does it?
It's not. It's a nice property, to be fair.
And how long's this been on the market for?
It's not too long, matter of months.
Have they had any offers on the property already?
As far as I can tell, I don't think we've had any offers. It's not my usual property I deal with. I'm just covering someone. We have had interest. I know I've done a couple of viewings here. But in terms of offers, I'm not too sure. I'll have to have a look on system. I can drop you an email.
Okay. So this is up for 80,000, isn't it? And if this was, I mean, it don't look too bad, but if it was renovated to a very sort of modern new spec, fresh paint, I mean, probably put new carpets down because that looked like it's peeling up.
Yeah.
What sort of rental do you think this would achieve?
Rental side of stuff, you're looking between 425 and 500, depending on finish of property. The big disadvantage of the property is there's no front garden.
Yeah.
Obviously, so that's
it's on a main road, isn't it?
Yeah, it is one of the main roads into Clown. It's literally at the end of.
So it's quite a busy road.
Yeah.
So I would imagine round about sort of 5 o'clock that gets really.
Yeah. Especially with schools and that, right? It can be a bit manic, especially with no.
I noticed one of the neighbours put a sign up through their window saying no parking. So I wonder if they have an issue with people parking on the side of the road.
I'm not too sure. I'll be honest with you. I live in Worksop myself, but I travel in Clown quite often. I've got some friends up here. It's usually people.
Oh, that's random, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
That's actually away from the wall. So that needs to be looked at.
It is, considering the rest of your meters are lovely, nicely tucked away above.
Yeah, normally they're right up against the wall, aren't they? But that actually sticks out, so it's like sticking out in the middle of the room almost.
I think what's
Unusual.
they're old, that looks like capped old gas on. Put a new one in, haven't they? So you'd have to put like maybe a bit more extension. God knows what they've done really.
It'd be ideal if that was boxed in, really, the whole thing.
Yeah, you'd probably need to speak to Castle about it. The rest of your meters though are up there. Like your meters up there. But
Okay.
yeah, so if you want to take a trip upstairs.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Would they take an offer then on this property, or are they looking to achieve full asking
I think
price?
so, yeah. I think
Yeah.
definitely, even if you place an offer, it opens for negotiation anyway, doesn't it? So,
Have they had any offers yet?
I'm not too sure.
No.
I don't know about it. I'll have to check.
And it's been on for a month, you say?
A couple of months.
Couple months.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Not too long, but it's been over a month.
they're probably getting itchy bums now, though, aren't they?
Well, potentially, yeah.
Quite a big space in here with built-in wardrobes. I'd probably knock those all out. Oh. Fairly newish boiler as well.
Double glazing these places. Most of the sealed units have gone. I've already, that's gone. About 3 of them have gone.
What do you mean gone?
The sealed units popped inside.
You
That's why
reckon?
you've got that's where you've got all mounted. I've already put my hand outside.
Oh, it's not the outside.
No,
No.
it's, yeah, sealed unit popped. That one, one over here.
I noticed the one downstairs was quite dirty, but I assumed it's because it was on a main road.
Yeah, that one's popped as well.
Okay, so they're about 50 quid depending on the size. So you probably have to spend 200-300 quid on double glazing. Oh, this is alright.
Yeah.
Almost looks like a kitchen. They've used kitchen worktops, haven't they? So it looks nice, eh?
Yeah, there's a lot of cupboards.
That's a new toilet as well. Yeah, loads of cupboard space for a bathroom.
It's a shower, so
That's the newest sink, newest tap. I wouldn't change any of that.
bathroom needs cleaning. This is a shower, super shower.
Not bad. Yeah, mate. This is ideal for you.
Yeah, this is what
Right.
it is, isn't it?
Doesn't need too much doing to it. It's just whether they're taken off, I think.
Yeah.
How much would they be worth done up?
I'd have to do
That's what, yeah, we'd have to do a bit of research on that.
Yeah.
This glass is alright.
Yeah. So just basically just need top to bottom carpets, painting.
Well, the carpet on the stairs looks alright.
Yeah.
Well, it's tidy.
This one does, but bedroom. Get rid of.
I'd knock out those wardrobes, but I mean,
Yeah,
it
no, I'll
depends.
get rid of that as well.
It'll make the room bigger then, wouldn't it? And it's not, as a landlord, it's not your responsibility to provide furniture anyway, so I'd open it up to make it look bigger, but then you don't know what's behind it. If it's all wallpapered and painted the same as the rest of the room, you're laughing.
Well, you just.
Otherwise, you'll just have to get that all re-wallpapered.
Yeah, well, you pull the paper down and just paint it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you could do. Depends what the walls are like behind it, don't you? I'll say the boiler's already been done.
Yeah, not too bad actually. We've seen upstairs.
Upstairs?
Yeah.
What, there's another floor?
Well, that's one bedroom, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I assume this was just a bedroom, then. Let's have a look. Oh, this is massive, isn't it? This is a big room for a 2-bedroom house. Obviously, that's where the little people sleep.
The thing is as well, is you can literally park. You know where we pulled into that place there?
Yeah.
So you've got all that parking along those roads there, so you can just park there and walk around. So
And even though we're on a main road, it sounds pretty quiet, doesn't it?
yeah,
I would imagine sort of 9 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's a lot busier.
Yeah, but you can do a big double glazed now. That's it.
That loft access is tiny. I wouldn't fit in that. I think one of my kids would struggle to fit in that. Yeah, I like it. I don't think there's much that needs changing at all. You'd spend quite little renovating it. The only trouble is though with that, it's going to come down to how much it'd be worth at the end, because it's all well and good doing no renovation, but it means you're not adding value to the property. Which means if you're buying it for what it's worth, you're not going to be able to get your money back out.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why you need to find a nice mix of needs work, but not too much. If that makes sense.
It does, yeah. So I suppose that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, because if you buy this for, I don't know, let's say you get it for 70, 75, and then they value it and say, yeah, it's worth 80, you're like, oh.
So as well, I could add anything to it to increase the value.
Mm. But no, it looks all right. Nice and tidy. Oh, we haven't seen the garden yet, have we?
No, yes, okay, we're going to have to walk around the side.
Oh, okay. We can't get out this door.
No, I've got no access to it, unfortunately. I'll show you around the back though. Would be a good idea. Pop the end and whatnot.
I said that's random, the way that they've obviously cut off the old gas meter, and then because they couldn't put this right up against the wall because the pipes are still there, they've stuck that out, so it's like really sticking out. I'd get that all boxed in so like kids don't play with it and that.
Yeah, my mate's got the same problem, so what he's got a
Unit built in or something.
yeah, built a unit.
Yeah, that's what I do, cover it up. I like what they've done with the decking. Is this the garden?
This is the garden. But still, I mean, for like someone like a first time buyer, I think we can get up to some.
Well, for some people, they don't like doing gardens up, do they?
No.
Don't like it, so.
Some patio furniture out here and a little barbecue or something. It's still a usable space.
And they've added on this,
Yeah.
which obviously is, oh, we didn't see inside that, did we? Because we couldn't get out there.
So it's like a porch, isn't it? Just for in terms of like extra walkways, so you're not bringing in mud and whatnot. You got that shed as well behind.
What, is this part of the property? And therefore next door?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, like, obviously, the one next door is the original. I think initially they used to be, you know, like outside toilets.
Yeah. Well, I assume these were old mining houses or something.
Yeah, correct, yeah. So Cloud Acre was the mining village.
There's a lot of mining villages around here, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've just bought a property in Clay Cross.
Oh, yeah.
And that says, Clay Cross, welcome to the home of mining town, and or something like that.
Yeah, there's to be honest, every village around here is a mining village. Yeah, I mean, other than like Bolsover, which is a bit older, but yeah, a lot of them are mining villages.
Well, you wouldn't have to do anything out here.
That's how you can. No. That's easy, not like the other one.
It's a lot more manageable than the one, isn't it? I think, in terms of
Well, yeah, this really, in terms of renting this out, it doesn't need hardly anything doing to it, does it?
No.
Which is good for someone to just buy it and rent it out,
Yeah.
if that's all you want to do.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's what the last owners did, to be fair.
What, they rented it out?
Yeah, they bought it as like an investment. But like I said, I'm not too sure on that, don't take my word for gold. We'll find out.
So you got any other properties that need a bit of work doing to it?
We've got plenty, to be honest, at the moment, for around, for 100 grand, just off the top of my head. Are you just looking at houses or is it flats as well?
The plan is I need to do the work, increase the value, so get the money out.
Yeah.
So there has to be like let's say hypothetically this is worth 100. I could get it for 70, spend £5,000 on it, and then get revalued. I'll get my money out.
Oh yeah.
So that's the sort of a plan of action really.
Yeah, we've got a couple to be fair then. What I'll do when I get back to office, I'll send you a couple of brochures over, just with what we've got that just needs a bit of modernisation. Because there's that one on Derby Road, which I think we discussed over the phone in centre, but that one there's not a lot of money in it.
No.
It's up for like 90.
I think you've got Lass in your office who was lettuce, who's got an exotic name.
Vincenzo, yeah.
Yeah, she told me about Derby Road, so it's just...
Yeah, it's really bad. No, I went on
Irritates my beard, these things. So this property doesn't need that much doing to it, which is good if you don't want to be hands-on. If you just want to buy a property and rent it out, let me just walk a bit away from this main road. If you want to buy a property just to rent out and not really have much to do with it, then this is ideal for you. If you just want to see a return on your investment of a couple of percent, and then obviously you hope that it goes up in value. But we don't want to do that. We want to buy a property, remortgage it, and get 100% of our money back out. Now, that is achievable if you can add 20 to 25% value on a property. So for that, if it was worth 100 grand, let's just make it easy maths. If it was worth 100 grand at the end, that means that really you've got to work your maths out backwards. So 100 grand at the end is the target goal that you're working towards. You'd have to remember that you can only get 75 grand out as a remortgage, which means you take your renovation costs off that. So say, I don't know, that only needs probably 10. So say you're now looking at 65. So you'd have to buy that at 65. So that is that's the figure. Now, obviously you try your luck a bit. So you'd say, I'd offer 60. And then that's where your money's going to be made. But it's finding the right projects. Now, if a property doesn't need that much doing to it, then people are less likely to go down that low. You know, if they've put it up for 80, they might take an offer for 75. So if you're turning up saying, oh yeah, I'll give you 65 because it needs stuff doing to it, they're going to be like, no, it doesn't. So you sort of need that balance, unless you get really sort of lucky and a tenant says, yeah, look, we just want a quick sale, look, we'll take anything. Now, he has said that the property has been on the market for a couple of months already. Now, usually people that sell houses, they start off really optimistic. So estate agents go around and they say, oh yeah, I think your house is worth 80,000. And people go, oh yeah, that's brilliant. We only owe 50 on the mortgage. Yeah, we'll get 30 grand out of it. And then after a couple of weeks and they have a few viewings, and normally if a house is viewing well, so like loads of people are viewing it, you still remain optimistic. You always think one person's going to come in and say, yeah, I'll offer you this. But as soon as you, the viewings start drying up, you start thinking, shit, no one's viewing the house, no one's putting an offer. Should we drop the price, you know, to drum up more interest? You give it a couple of weeks, nothing comes through, then you start getting a bit, whoa, you know. Now, if someone comes along and says, I'll give you 65, you'll go, yeah, all right, we'll take it. So, whereas if a house has only just gone on the market like a week before, they'll probably say no. So it's about knowing the customer. If he had said, oh yeah, it's an investor, then, you know, investors are like, no, I have to get a set amount of money for it. But people that are buying and selling with emotions, just like cryptocurrencies, you have to think, where are they at in their journey and what emotions are they currently feeling? They want to buy the next house. They want to release funds from this to buy another one. So it's always good to ask loads of questions. It might be completely irrelevant and the estate agent might say, oh, I don't know. That's the worst that will happen. But you ask, who lives here, how many people live here, is it a husband and wife, do they have kids, where are they moving to, why are they moving, what's wrong with the area, have they found somewhere else. Now if he says yeah they've put an offer in and they're just waiting for this to sell, brilliant, because now you're in a position where you know that they don't want to lose their next house. They've already imagined their sofas going in it, their wardrobes, and what it's going to look like at the end. So you can take advantage of that knowledge and that situation. Whereas if you don't ask questions, you're just putting in an offer based on maths. Sometimes it's good to take in the emotional side of it. So it's all about asking questions. It's all part of the negotiation process. But I hope you guys have enjoyed that. That was a quick view. I'm actually viewing another house later on today. I think about 3-4 o'clock. I may do another. If you guys have enjoyed this, smash that like button for me. If this video receives enough likes, I might do another one later on if you guys want to see another property. And obviously don't forget that with the Ether Homes token, what I'm offering you is owning a share of a property with myself as part of the company. So if you're interested in that, check out www.ether-homes.com. Bye guys.